So more Origins 2022 coverage here. We are now here with Dave Beck talking about Distilled. So tell us a little bit about the game.
Sure, thanks so much. Yeah, so, you might have played some great beer games, some great wine games, but there's no games about making whiskey, making other types of alcohol. So I wanted to change that. I've created Distilled. Distilled is a spirited strategy game in which you've inherited a distillery from some sort of long-lost relative. There's one of 18 you can play with from across the game. And if you look down on the board here, you'll see that you're inherited a distillery. This distillery is decrepit, you need to bring it back to its former glory. At the beginning of the game, you only know how to make 2 recipes, moonshine and vodka. Over the course of the game, you need to learn some of these other recipes to unlock and be able to make them. Now, you're gonna make a spirit each round, 7 rounds, 7 spirits. But like any good Euro game, you're going to be able to go to the market first. If you come up to the market, you'll see that you can purchase new upgrades, hiring specialists or installing equipment to build your engine in your distillery. You could buy ingredients to be able to make into your batch, or you could buy items like bottles and barrels to take them to market. Now that's all well and good, but when we go back to our distillery, what you'll notice is the magic really happens on the left side of our board. Our water, our yeast, we've got a couple different grains in here as well, and we're gonna try and make soju today. Soju's from Korea. It requires at least 2 grains. So when we see that, we have 2 grains in our wash bath. Now, we need to let it ferment first. So we're gonna take some alcohol cards. The yeast eats the sugars and turns it into alcohol. In Distilled, we count the number of sugar cards and we add that many alcohol cards. From there, we're actually going to mix these up and shuffle it. It's mixing up in the distillery itself. And in real life, the first part of the run that comes off of the still and the last part is actually toxic. Okay? What we do is we make nail polish remover out of that, actually. Distillers know this, so they cut it out, but they reuse it, and that's the key. And we're gonna do the same thing right now. We're gonna take the top card, and we're gonna remove it the first part of the run. It's gonna go back to our pantry. If this ends up being a grain, we are no longer making soju. Okay, we got lucky, we pushed our luck. We're gonna take the bottom card and do the same thing. Okay, we got lucky, we pushed our luck, and we ended up having 2 grains. Now, it could have been that I pulled this out accidentally, and I'm no longer making soju. That's okay, I can always rely on making vodka as a backup, okay? I take that label, the soju label, and I put it on the top of my distillery for a one-time bonus. Now, I can do the same thing with whiskey. Whiskey is a bigger and better spirit where I'm gonna earn more money and points, but I don't get to necessarily sell it right away like I would have with the soju. I'm gonna make it the same way, but I'm gonna send it to my warehouse. It's gonna age in a barrel in my warehouse. And for every round it's in the warehouse, I'm going to add a face-down flavor card without being able to see it. That flavor cards, over time, exponentially grow the points I'm going to get when I sell this. When I go to sell it, I might share with the table how I've got a whiskey with some delicious notes of vanilla and, oh crap, some manure got in there too. Now, I could have mitigated that. I could have added more flavors. I could have had a specialist pick and choose. Just like I could have done that in the washback as well by adding more ingredients or having someone to be able to pick and choose those too. So Distilled is a highly thematic Euro game with elements of resource management, recipe fulfillment, engine building, and just a tad mitigate and push your luck as well. Of course, at the end of 7 rounds, whoever has the most points is the winner. There's of course some global awards people are going for, private distillery goals. It also even has a solo mode, a robust solo mode for 1 to 5 players. And this is going to be releasing later this year to Kickstarter backers and in early 2023 to all retail as well.
It sounds like a fun game to have like a little side drink with as you're playing.
Totally. Yeah, so I actually came up with this idea when I was in Scotland. I had toured a bunch of different distilleries, had a lot of drams of whiskey, played a lot of games and realized, oh my gosh, there's something real here that I could have fun with. But what I really didn't realize is how many other different types of spirits around the world exist that I wanted to educate people about as well.
So it's awesome. So a great game that you can learn something about and maybe discover something you didn't know existed and then go out and try it as you're playing the game again the next time.
That's right. So my hope is exactly that, Brian. So perhaps someone hosts a game night and they go to make some soju and they say, oh, I have some soju right here. Let's all take a taste of this right now. Hopefully, being responsible. You are making 7 different drinks and everybody is, so that would equate to a lot of spirits being drunk. So we want to take that in moderation.
A tasting, not an actual full drink.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking to us.
No problem. Thanks for stopping by.